Hey everyone, and welcome back. And unfortunately, we're going to be talking about the New Zealand shooting again. Now, I know I've uploaded videos before talking about the New Zealand shooting and gun control and why that shit doesn't work. But recently, I came across this article where these parasites down in New Zealand decided to vote 119 to 1 to ban, quote, assault weapons. And this just pissed me off that these government parasites are so beyond mentally retarded that they are willing to do exactly what the shooter wanted them to do. And the reason why I wanted to come back and talk about this particular shooting is because this one was different from most of the shootings we've seen. Because similar to the case of the Elliot Rodgers shooting, this was one of the rare times where we actually know the shooter's intent. They both left manifestos, they both handed the answers to us as to why that they did the shootings. And it's funny to me that even when the shooters give the answers, these people will always find a way to spin it to fit their narrative. And these retards, and yes, I'm going to continue to refer to them as retards. And you know what? I don't care how offensive and non-politically correct that is, because it's true. These people that work at the fucking New Zealand government are absolute retards because they are giving into the demands of a fucking terrorist. They are flat out doing what the terrorist wanted. They are accomplices to his actions. And the fact that they are giving into this shooter shows once again what anarchists like me and others have been saying for a long time. Governments, by and large, don't give a shit about you. It doesn't fucking matter what government it is. They don't fucking care about you. They can say all they want that their precious gun control is about the safety of the citizens, but it's not. In reality, it's not. When you actually take the time to do the research, you would know that gun control A does not work, and gun control is actually so ineffective, it actually puts people more at risk than if you did nothing, okay? Doing nothing is far more effective than trying to ban guns, because guess what? You fucking spineless cowards. Gun control and prohibition does not, nor will it ever work. Get that through your thick fucking skulls, you brain-dead, worthless sacks of shit. Okay? And when you flat out give the shooter what he wants, you are flat out giving into terrorist demands. You are bending a knee to this motherfucker. And you think that your little gun control bullshit is going to save lives? No, it's not. It's going to make things worse. Let me ask you a question. And this is a question for everyone out there. Ask yourself this simple question. How long would the shooter have lasted in that mosque if people were armed? Maybe not everyone, but if even only a few people were armed, or everyone was armed, how long do you think the shooter would have lasted before he was turned into Swiss cheese? 5 seconds? 10 seconds? Because there's no wrong answer here. Because the reality is, if people in that mosque were armed, he would have been dead in a matter of seconds. Because it's kind of hard to kill people when they can shoot back at you. And guess what? I don't care what type of guns you have. When you are outmanned and outgunned, it doesn't matter how many fucking guns you have. Okay? Especially if enough people were armed at that mosque. he wouldn't live very long. Last I checked, this motherfucker wasn't wearing body armor. All it would have taken is people to be armed, and I can tell you from the research I've done that guess what? Most of the times in these situations, the shooter doesn't even have to be killed. Oftentimes, the mere presence of a gun is enough to deter the attacker and surrender or run away. Because here's what you fail to understand, is that these shooters are cowards. They are not going to go to an area where they know someone will shoot back. And we've seen this. There is proof of this. The Aurora shooter, the one who shot up the movie theater, okay, he purposefully went out of his way to find a movie theater that specifically was a gun-free zone. Now why would that be? Why would he want to go find a movie theater that was very far away that had gun control and gun-free zones? I mean, after all, I thought gun-free zones were supposed to make people safe. But in reality, all gun-free zones is it's just a free-for-all. All it does is tell the intruder that nobody here is armed. Nobody is going to do shit to you. It is literally shooting fish in a barrel. Gun-free zones are the least safe area you could possibly be in. Okay, I've shown this statistic before, but apparently I'm going to have to show it again. But you have a 97.8% chance of walking out of a gun-free zone alive. Okay? Most shootings happen at gun-free zones. Okay? It is not, the odds are not in your favor. Chances are, if you're in a gun-free zone, you are more likely to die. That is a reality. That is why I fucking hate gun-free zones. I actively avoid them. Because if some crazy motherfucker wants to mug me or wants to shoot up the place, there's nothing anyone can do about it. And don't for one fucking second say, oh, well, you have a cell phone, retard, just call the police. Because guess what? The average police response time is 10 to 15 minutes. By the time the police show up, you are already dead. The police are useless. All they're going to do is outline your body in chalk. That is all the police are good for. They are useless. They can't protect shit. We libertarians see this shit all the fucking time. But when seconds count, the police are minutes away. They are not reactionary. Okay, by the time they show up, it's already over. The first responders are the armed citizens. They are the true first responders, not the fucking police. And you want to just sit here and turn everything into a gun-free zone or just outright ban weapons because somehow you've tricked yourself into thinking that that will somehow make the world safer, even though statistically it has been shown that that is never the fucking case. And I just can't. I mean, I can't even say I can't comprehend how stupid the New Zealand government is, because this shit happens all the time. Governments don't care about you. They care more about power than anything else. And a government will always, never, ever let a tragedy go to waste. And you better believe they're exploiting this one to the best of their ability, and idiots down here in our own home country are trying to use that one too. And guess what? It's not going to work. Because another thing that New Zealand doesn't understand is, guess what? Banning guns won't work. The criminals are not going to turn in their guns. Do you fucking understand me? You fucking parasites. The criminals are not going to turn in their guns. Only the law-abiding citizens will. And all you're doing is disarming them. You are disarming them for no fucking reason. You are disarming people that will protect not only themselves and others from mass shootings. For what? Because of one crazy fucking lunatic. What the fuck is this collective punishment? You don't fucking kill the whole village because of one person. But that's what you're doing. And I can promise you, New Zealand, that crime rate of yours, it's going to spike. Death by guns, that's going to spike. Because what you don't seem to understand is the places with the most gun control have not only the highest crime rates, but the most gun deaths. When you ban something, it is going to end up on the black market, and it is going to be cheaper than if you buy your guns legally. Criminals don't buy their guns legally. They don't. They just buy it from their nearest black market dealer and then just throw it in the fucking river. So you think you're going to ban guns, but it's not going to work. It's not going to happen. It has never happened. And you want to do all this under the guise of protecting people, yet if you truly cared about protecting people, you would encourage people to arm themselves and be ready to protect themselves. You wouldn't be trying to disarm them. Imagine if it was only Hitler who had the guns. Oh wait, that actually happened. Oh shit, people were thrown in death camps. Oh god, that's just terrible. So, yeah, congratulations, New Zealand. You are literally, not just figuratively, and this is not a joke, or some SJW anti-Trump bullshit. You are literally doing what Adolf Hitler did. Adolf Hitler was a fascist. He disarmed people. It was Adolf Hitler himself that the best way to control a country is by disarming its citizens. It is hard to force your will upon people when they have the ability to shoot back. Guns are the ultimate equalizer. I promise you, if people in that mosque were armed, that shooter would be fucking dead. And less people would have died. Guns save more lives than they take away. But you don't care about that, do you? No. You just care more about expanding your own fucking power. You don't care about protecting people, so stop acting like you do, because you're nothing more than a bunch of fucking frauds. And to give in to the terrorist demands just shows how absolutely pathetic and spineless you are. You let the shooter win. You ignorant fools. The shooter has won. You let him win. Are you proud of yourselves? And it just, I don't know what else to say here. I mean, how many videos do we have to make? How many times do we have to prove that gun control doesn't work and that the government does not have your best interests in mind? And yet, there are people out there that will tell you that we need government to protect us. The government is not going to protect you because the government doesn't give a shit about you. Those who would trade away essential liberties for temporary security deserve neither and will gain neither. And I hope that the people in New Zealand fight back against this, because this is inexcusable. Because these people are basically going to have their lives put at risk because of the incompetence and selfishness of their government. All because of one lunatic. Because one lunatic wants to start a fucking civil war. Because of some fucking white pride or some shit. really, I don't fucking care about the shooter. The shooter is a worthless piece of shit. And if it were up to me, he would have been fucking executed. But of course, you can never count on government. You can never count on the mainstream media to do the right thing because they don't care. And I'm sorry, but I will not stand for this. Now, I know that there's probably not a whole lot I can do. However, I am going to use whatever platform I have to speak out against this. And you can try to censor me all you want, but it's not going to work. I have assured that it is essentially impossible to censor me and ban me on social media. That I have assured. So go ahead and try to ban me, try to censor me. It's not gonna fucking work. You can't censor me. Okay? Ideas are bulletproof. And that is something you fuckers need to understand. And what else is there to say? I mean, I could go on and on giving statistics and explaining to you why gun control doesn't work. However, though, I would be basically repeating myself. And I could easily just link to other videos on my channel or other videos that other people have made explaining why gun control doesn't work. Really, this is more of a PSA than anything else to kind of get it out there to you people and just explain the truth and the reality of the world you live in. The reality that government doesn't care about you, the police cannot protect you, and that your life is always going to be more meaningless to the government when their agenda is on the table. When it comes down to your life and the agenda of politicians, your life is meaningless to them. And it always will be meaningless to them. And again, the fact that the New Zealand politicians are spineless cowards that are willing to do exactly what the shooter wants shows how pathetic government is. And really what it does show is that it is absolutely necessary to be armed. I mean, I'm a pacifist. I'm one of the least violent people you will know. But even I understand the value of being armed and being ready to protect your life. It is a very important thing. And I hope that eventually people, not just in New Zealand, but all over, start to wake up and see right through these parasites and right through the lies of the mainstream media. Because if this continues, things are only going to get worse. And believe me, if you truly are against fascism, you would be against gun control. Because it is always the fascists that want to disarm you. The people who want you to be free and liberated will always be the ones to advocate for you to be armed. And I am one of those people. I will always much rather stand on the side of people's rights, liberties, and freedoms than ever cuck down to those who would desire to take them away. I would rather die than ever bend a knee. And I will always be there to stand up for freedom. And if you do too, spread this video around. Spread the word around. Because if this is the way that things are going to be, then things will only get worse over time, people. And it's not going to be too much longer before your life is affected by this. Don't think for 1 second that gun control won't ever affect your life, because it will.
We have a new image of the suspected shooter.
Our first look at the suspect.
As we tell you everything we know about who did it, what kind of weapons, and why.